Well, hello, my beautiful Aries. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of October, right through the end of November 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam. Okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Aries, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile will be the unified energy of how things come together. Now, it is worth noting what a twin flame connection is, because if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That's more likely to be a false flame connection, which will drain you of your beautiful love and, of course, waste your wonderful time. Now, the difference between the two, because of course there is a fine line, you know, false flames and even karmics will actually trigger you without any evolution in the relationship. No one tries to go through a period of personal development and growth. That's how you know. So if you're experiencing a cycle of repeat, you know, where a person is not even trying, then of course this could well be a false flame connection. So I want you to be aware of that. Okay, now let's get straight to your energy. Thank you so much, spirit guides, guardian angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aries? What's going on in their twin flame dynamic at this moment in time? Can you please show them the way? So your first card there is the House. So that indicates that you wanted a long-term relationship with this person. You thought about settling down. You may have even thought that you were secure in this relationship. For some of you, you may have actually lived with your person, but that's not typical for all of you right now. But I feel in your present energy, you're building a foundation of stability in your life. You may have had to take back your power in order to do that. I feel like your person, they got the anchor, which means they are emotionally grounding themselves. There is a need to look at where they feel changeable in their emotions, because I feel with the anchor, oh yes, look at that. We've got the ship there. This person feels like their energy shifts from time to time. There's a lot of conflict there. I mean, they want to take the journey, because this tends to be about the journey of life and love, of course. It can also indicate that there's going to be some sort of change in this dynamic. And I feel your person, they tend to get overwhelmed with their emotions. Now, I feel when you first met this person, they did not know where they belonged. There's an energy of kind of drifting. And maybe you picked up on that in the dynamic, and maybe that's how it ended up, that both of you were drifting in this. But I feel like this person, they do want to settle down. For some of you, you're actually going to have a conversation with your person about relocation. Now, this may be something that you'll discuss in your future together, but I definitely see that there is an energy of movement. And I would say, even though your person struggles with their emotions, they're not allowing those emotions to overwhelm them the way that they once did. That's something that's coming out there as well. But we need to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome there. Now, I just want to describe in a bite-sized kind of detail as to what a twin flame dynamic is, because of course at the beginning it is romantic, it's passionate, it's intense, it's all-consuming, it's kind of like electric, right? There's no one like your twin, and vice versa. Both twins, when they meet each other, they feel the same. So it's an energetic exchange, and it's actually a very important relationship. Not everybody meets their twin in each lifetime. And of course, some people decide not to take the twin flame journey because it's very challenging. Often there is a separation period, which feels isolating, lonely. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there, my beautiful Aries, if you are feeling that way about your twin dynamic right now. But the twin flame is more of a spiritual awakening rather than an actual, physically romantic relationship, which of course it is at first, okay? But then the deeper you go in the relationship, it will amplify fears or trigger things that have been left unhealed so that they can be looked at and healed. This relationship is more of a process that prepares both parties to release lower vibrational energy that keeps either party either stuck in fear, codependency, unhealthy attachments, addictive patterns, cycles of self-loathing, trust issues. There's a lot that can go on in a twin flame dynamic that needs to be looked at to heal and be released from, to process. And it's a very intense inner vibrational transformation. It is a personal journey of discovery, but it's also a journey of discovery that must be done alone. That's why there tends to be a runner, a chaser, and a separation period. And of course, that serves a purpose so that both parties can really discover their sense of purpose, their true life's mission and calling, but also embrace unconditional love for self. And only then can the reunion process take place and the relationship move towards a more sustainable relationship long term. Okay, so it is a very sacred union. And often there is a mirrored experience. So your twin will reflect back to you your greatest weaknesses, but also your greatest strengths, and vice versa. And when your twin looks at you, my beautiful Aries, they look in a mirror and see themselves and all the things that perhaps they've been avoiding, running away from, perhaps have struggled with, and they need to deal with it in order to surrender to the union, because the twin flame dynamic is very exposing. You cannot hide when it comes to love, especially twin flame dynamic love there. And of course, their presence and your presence is to amplify all these areas that have been laying dormant or avoided. And once those areas are amplified, then of course the healing process can take place. Now, twin flames tend to have had some sort of challenging experience before they even meet each other, whether it is heartbreak, bereavement, or some sort of trauma that they have experienced at some point in their journey. And they need to really do the work to process and heal and release. And if they've not done that, that's when you have the separation period, or that's when you have a longer self kind of discovery period. Because both parties, I always say, do not wait for your twin, because your twin, it could take months, years, decades for them to really heal or stop avoiding. Get busy living, my beautiful Aries, which I know you will. I feel like right now you got a lot on your mind, and certainly this relationship perhaps causes a bit of a headache sometimes, a lot of overthinking going on in this connection. If you're wondering, do they love you? The answer is yes. They got the Ace of Cups. This is how they feel about you. They actually saw you as stability. They were caught up in some sort of emotional storm when they first met you, and they anchored onto you as someone who they look to as having it all together. Even if you feel like you didn't have it all together. I mean, humans in general, we're all just trying to figure it out and make our way. But I feel like they looked at you and they thought, you know what? Not only is there feelings, because you've got the Ace of Cups there, but you made them feel safe and secure. You offered a foundation where, they came to you. And normally they came to you, whoever I'm picking up on right now, they may have come to you during troubled times. They came to you for fixing. Now, you're not here to just be someone's emotional crutch, my beautiful Aries. You're here to have that grand love story, that passion, that romance, that intensity that you truly deserve, but also that you offer, because that's something you offer in a relationship. And I feel this person, they need to come back to you on their own terms, but also acknowledging that you triggering them promotes healing within themselves. They don't need you to fix them. Okay, so that's something that's coming out there as well. Now, looking at your cards, that was just kind of a bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame dynamic. Twins tend to have challenge before they meet each other, and a twin who is the runner will often step away to acknowledge where they feel either hurt, damaged, or they feel there's a blockage. I mean, your person, you know, they were not looking for love. They were independent, footloose, fancy-free, not expecting to fall in love, and enjoying their singlehood. But suddenly they caught feelings. That's something that's coming out very strongly in their energy. But let's get back to your energy first and see what's going on there. You know, it's number 4, and this indicates that you take ownership of the fact that, you know, you saw a future with this person, you fell in love with this person, you trusted this person, and you thought that you were moving towards a higher level commitment with this person. The house can indicate, you know, a desire to have structure in this relationship. And I also feel for some of you, you may have conducted this relationship in secret at first. There's a privacy here. Now, you do not let everybody in, and you certainly do not fall in love easily. Whatever, you know, some of those cliched kind of indications say about Aries. They always say Aries very passionate, you know, falls in love easily. Not true at all. You know, you're the sort of person who, when you know, and you knew. That's why you got this card as an overarching energy. So I feel like with this card right there, I feel like now you're focusing on your own stability. You may be removing yourself from their energy because, as you see, this is the house. And it's on top of a hill or a mound there. So you're removing yourself from your person's energy. And you may feel like you're not seen in this connection. You feel you've gone unnoticed in some way, or you feel isolated and alone there. I feel there is this kind of energy here where some of you may have lent into family or friends to try and understand this relationship. I feel like you want a long-term connection, and there was something familiar about your person. You just felt like you knew each other before, or there was just something, and it's because they're your twin. You can't explain it, but it is because they are your twin. And I feel there is this energy that this person kind of gets you on a deeper level, but at the same time infuriates you. It's like this 10 of Wands there. And I also feel for some of you, especially if you've been leaning into family and friends, I feel like this person, your twin, is not really liked that much because they feel you deserve better in the connection. Of course, you do deserve better. As I say, I don't take sides in these readings. I seek to understand. But of course, you know, some people may not understand the twin flame dynamic, but you need to, you know, recognize your sense of value and your boundaries. But I feel with that 10 of Swords, there's a lot of overthinking going on, and it was a very painful ending here. You feel lost in this, exhausted by this, mentally like broken and tired. I would say even fatigued. You know, I feel like you're burnt out with this. You can't do this anymore. I feel with that 10 of Swords energy, not only does it just give you a headache, I feel, you know, needles on this card. Needles sew things together, mend, heal. Okay, so I feel like you're trying to heal this within yourself right now, but also you may be kind of overthinking whether you want to mend this situation with your person, whether you actually want to repair it, or whether it is like dead and done and it was just a very painful experience. Because as you've got the 3 of Pentacles there, 3 of Pentacles is an energy of, you know, working together to make something solid. Now, because you have a 4 there, that's your intention, but you've got a 3 of Pentacles. So you may feel that this person isn't quite capable right now of reaching a stable position in a relationship to offer you the love that you truly deserve and desire. As you can see with this flower, flowers are very delicate, but as you can see, those 2 birds there, they've got little nails in their beaks. So it can be that you have people around you or who are helping you heal, but also I feel, especially with this card, it's like, can we mend this situation, which is pretty delicate in its present form? Can we make it solid? Can this ever be a long-term relationship, or is it always going to end up painful and hurting? Because the 10 of Swords is a very painful card. You know, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, you know, the figure on the 10 of Swords is on the ground. So you may feel that this person betrayed you, or that, you know, this relationship hit rock bottom at some point and you can't see a way to move past this. It's such a painful experience. This is a card of you feeling like you are in pain. There's been tears, there's been sadness, maybe even an emptiness. You may feel that this person or this situation, the twin flame separation, has made you feel very isolated, alone, or even like desolate, but you're still transcending. You're wanting to overcome this. So I feel there is this energy of just wanting to be happy, to simplify your life, to find stability and security in a relationship. And you may be like, how is it that I can feel that this person is the one, and yet they're presenting as not the one, or they can't get over the obstacle in order to offer the love that you truly deserve and desire, and the love that you actually offer this person. Now, not all of you, but some of you may have suggested counseling with this person or relationship. Counseling is what I'm seeing there, or some sort of advice regarding like an impartial person. And your person may have kind of like, well, I'm getting this energy. They may have said that they don't really need it, okay? And that, yeah, they love you. They may have even like, because I just feel like this person was just not wanting to settle down, and they caught feelings. And I need to go a little bit deeper on this person. They felt overwhelmed in their emotion to settle down. And it's almost like if they talk to their friends are like, what? You're thinking about settling down? No way. I thought you'd never settle down. That's what I've got coming from this person's energy, okay? Now, I'm seeing a really random image, and I almost don't want to say it or talk about it. It's very much a generational thing, I'm guessing. But in the water, because I'm scrying at the same time as doing your reading, I'm seeing, I think it's a comedy show from the 70s or something, I'm not sure. Benny Hill. Okay, I know it's so random. I'm like, what does this have to do with your reading? But it's like a skit, like a comedy sketch show thing that I'm seeing right now. And what I'm seeing is like the main character running and someone running after them. And there's this like comical music, like, I don't know how to describe it, like a circus. Okay, I'm going to have to look this up afterwards, but that's what I'm being given by my guides. So either some of you may feel like, you've gone round and round in circles, trying to understand this person, trying to like make it right. Maybe you're definitely in the runner phase energy. I mean, I can't see any runner or chaser in this dynamic right now. So maybe there's a bit of a stalemate, but because I'm seeing in the image of this person running in the water, it may feel like, you've got fed up of chasing this. It just feels like a circus or farce. It's just going round and round circles. It's like beyond a joke now. Okay, so I'm just getting that, and I'm not sure if there's a reference that's personal to you, or you understand that, or if you know what that is. I feel, as I said, it's a generational thing, something from it may be the 60s or 70s, maybe the 80s, I'm not sure, but it feels like decades ago. Looking at the, I would say the way that it's filmed and the colors that are in the film, or if maybe it's a TV series or something, it just feels like it's dated. That's why I'm mentioning that, okay? So if it's relevant, great. If it's not, dismiss it. But I feel symbolically the energy is that, this is not funny anymore. I don't think it was ever funny, to be honest, but there's this energy of chasing. Will I be endlessly chasing this person? And that's not something you want for your life. So that's something I feel here with that. Ten of Swords is like, this hurts. This is painful. And people should take accountability for actions, and I really get the sense of, this person needing to take responsibility or have a conversation. A lot of you are actually taking the very hard challenge of giving yourself closure on this because you want a long-term relationship. And you may feel that deep at the core of you, you want to heal this because this is a repair card. But also you're leaning into your plans, into your family, your friendships. And I feel like, this could actually spin you off to focus on your projects in a way where you are connected to your sense of purpose, which is, of course, the twin flame dynamic. It is the purpose of this relationship. But this is a consulting card. So if you're not asking friends and family, I feel some of you may have asked whether this person wants to repair this, find a solution, have a conversation, lay it all out on the table, get some sort of mediator to come in and help consult or help heal this, like a counselor, as I said. And I feel right now you have tried everything to try and make this a solid relationship. But I feel it takes two, right? It takes two. And you may be like, it takes two, but I'm standing out here alone, offering the whole of me. And I just need you to join me. I just need you to show me that you care, that, you want this as much as I want this. And right now you're feeling very uncertain. I mean, the Ten of Swords indicates you're done, but you may also feel like this is dead and done. You've tried everything and there's just no place left to go but to remove yourself from this energy and get busy living your life. Because you're in Aries, you're taking back your power. And, I feel like you're in a period of rebuilding your life. Now, coming to your person, they've got the Anchor. So this can indicate that this person, they felt very insecure in their emotions. The Anchor indicates, a need for safety and stability. And, someone who's very stubborn, someone who needs to learn about consistency. That's something that's coming out there. I feel like they're looking at all the traits that are required for a long-term relationship. And when you have a Nine of Pentacles, this is very much someone who is enjoying their single life, but they've got the Ace of Cups. If they had any other card there, bar the Lover's card, if they had any other card, as well as the Two of Cups, of course, I would say that this person is just single. They just want to be free, independent. They want to be free to roam, because the Anchor is a card that highlights that you can travel all over the world and you can make it your home, or you can dock a little while, because the Anchor can be lowered at any moment but taken up, and then you move on. So this person, I feel like they're in a cycle in their life where they got used to having like an exit point or leaving. This person's always on the go, always running. So they always need to feel like they are not going to stick around, or they don't stay too long in things. And for some of you, this could also connect to jobs as well. Your twin could have, be very changeable when it comes to their environment. Always on the go, always on the move. But I need to find out a little bit more, because this is number 35. When you reduce it, 3 plus 5 is 8, the number of the self. So this person needs to learn stability within themselves. Emotional security is something that they are grappling with right now. They feel their emotions are overwhelming, but I need to know why. So let me just see. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide? We got the Moon. Now this shows up pretty much for all of the twin flames recently. The Moon is the shadow self. It is the fears. It is the undercurrent of emotions that are suppressed, that are coming to the surface. People who feel uncertain about their future. But also I feel your person has a very rich inner fantasy world. They fantasize about you a lot, and they're going to tell you that they had a dream about you as well. But they also have this kind of thing about them where they fall in love with the idea of love, but then it gets real. Then it means they have to invest in emotions. It means, they have to take responsibility. I'm getting a very strong energy that this person, when they were younger, they had nothing but responsibility. They had to grow up real quick when they were younger. I feel a lot of them, because the energy is giving me about 86% right now, which is quite high. It's giving me an energy right now of someone who had to be more responsible before their time. So it could be that they had a very inconsistent family life or upbringing. For some of you, your person may have grown up in the system, for example. It just feels very changeable. And they just felt like a need to adapt to their environment, but never stick around. Always have an exit point is what I keep coming up with your person. We've got Ten of Swords here, Strength card, Seven of Wands. Very guarded person, okay? This person had to be strong because they were so used to people not being there for them. They are like super independent. And I feel that Moon is like them looking at their shadow self to understand why they are uncertain about this. Because of course, the Moon card can be all about fears. But what I see in this person, it's not like fear. I feel this person's actually super strong. Ten of Swords is like they need to shut something down, or they had a very abrupt childhood is what I'm being given. where they had to suddenly be mature, take the lead, or protect. That's what I'm getting with this person. And that Ten of Swords is... Oof, okay, thanks so much. I'm so grateful. For some of you, this could be that their parents or guardians, one of them, they died suddenly in their childhood. Now, this is not going to resonate with all of you, of course. So I'm going to remove myself from the energy because I just heard the words from my guides. That's private. So we're not going to go there, okay? We're just going to bring the energy back there. But this could be a reason why this person has learned that love, when you connect to a person, love can be taken away. There's some feelings grappling with that. But right now, I'm feeling more than anything, this person, they were very responsible in their youth. And as they got older, they were like, no responsibility. Don't have to do that anymore. I'm mature enough to just live my life, be independent, wild and free. Strength card, very strong person you're dealing with here. This is someone who has battled away. I feel they're battling with something inside of themselves, the inner battle. And I also feel like they do regret ending this relationship quite abruptly there as well. But Seven of Wands is someone who's super guarded, very protective, someone who's under a lot of pressure or extra critical on themselves. I feel there is this energy of confidence there. However, I feel there's also defensiveness. I feel this person has trouble with letting people in. And it's based on a very abrupt, painful ending at some point. Now, this could also be that they've had a relationship that ended badly in the past because you're both presenting as tens, Ten of Swords. Both of you are very strong people because you've been through some stuff. And I feel like you understand this person on a different level. That's why I feel if you've talked to your family or friends, you may feel like they don't quite understand, and you do, but you must not lose yourself in this or compromise your sense of value in this. Because when another person is grappling with something within themselves, especially if you love and care for them so much, which you do, you can get lost in their storm. Very important to make sure that that doesn't happen there. But I feel with that Nine of Pentacles, very independent person, focused on their projects, focused on their glow up, very self-reliant, doesn't need anybody, but suddenly found themselves falling in love. I do feel this person has to learn to love themselves fully because it's almost like they don't stop enough to think about themselves. They're always on the go, doing the stuff, life. Okay, I feel this is actually quite a generous kind of person. They do give a lot of themselves to a lot of people. However, it's their coping mechanism. It is their running away mechanism. It's like if they do all the stuff, be very busy over here or dedicate themselves to their family, their friends and stuff like that, that means they never have to really think about the undercurrent of their hopes, their fears. It's not that they don't really want to face them. They see it as like an inconvenience. They just want to have fun. That's what I'm picking up with this person. They're actually a very deep person, but I feel they shy away from going to that depth because, well, I just heard from my guides, they don't like to burden other people with it, but they've definitely got a past that's been challenging. But I need to come back to this energy because the Ace of Cups indicates you captured their attention in a way like no one ever has. You've literally transformed their idea of love, what it means to be in love, because this is unconditional love. And I feel this person has not felt unconditional love ever before. And they had this responsibility as well. Even though there may have been love, I feel this person, it's like love came with conditions for this person at some point in their life. I'm not going to go to where the energy is drawing me to because my guide said it's private. But this Ace of Cups energy indicates that this person, they want to tell you that they love you. They want to tell you that you've literally transformed the way they see themselves and love in general. And I feel like they're learning about unconditional love for self. I feel like... Oh, thanks so much. I'm so grateful. My guides just said, this person, when they met you, you brought their dreams into being. They could see a future where love sticks around. So why? Oh, okay. I was just going to say, why did they not stick around? Because old habits die hard is what I heard. Again, I mean, that sounds like an excuse. I'm not here to make an excuse for anyone. Now, this is really random, okay? And I'm just being given a taste of something right now. And I mean, I honestly don't know what iodine tastes like, but I'm being given that it is connected to iodine, so I'm not sure, or iodine, however you say it. I don't know what that symbolically could mean, but there could be something health related with this person as well. It's like live while you're alive, and like I don't know why I'm getting that. I'm going to dismiss that because I'm not sure. I'll always be honest and say I don't know where that's going. Okay, so yeah, I was just giving it for a moment. I could taste it. The taste is so weird. And anyway, okay, I'm just going to leave that there. We have 4 swords and we have 4 cups. So I wanted to know why this person, has been on the run, what they're running from, okay? The 4 swords indicates this person initially thought they'd take a break from relationships. They needed to get their head straight about their future. They have this sense of purpose and they are in control of their projects and their destiny. But also the 4 cups is like they've been there, done that, and it was not fulfilling. And you're different. You were a surprise. They did not expect you. Okay, so this person immediately put the brakes on with that 4 swords because they needed to think about it. And when someone puts the brakes on in something and just needs that exit point anyway, suddenly it has a consequence where you're not going to sit there waiting for them. You're going to react to the consequence. So it feels like maybe it was a knee-jerk reaction here. 4 cups is an energy of like having been disappointed in love, or love never met the expectation. They were just refusing. I mean, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there is literally a figure under a tree on the 4 cups and their arms are crossed. Okay, and it's like, yeah, you know what? I could have anybody. I don't feel like they're egotistical. I feel like love has presented itself before, but they're like, I'm not interested. I'm doing me right now. And suddenly, out of this very turbulent cloud, because this person, there is an inner battle there with this person, okay? Thanks so much, I'm so grateful. My guides are giving me something, so I will mention that now in a moment. But, on this card, there's a hand that pops out from the universe. Now, that hand is holding a cup, which, of course, is a very fulfilling love opportunity. It is the equivalent of an Ace of Cups popping out, because the hand on the Ace of Cups always, pops out there of that cloud, and your person's got the Ace of Cups. So it means that this person was totally closed off to love. They were not connected to anybody, not looking for commitment. And, they were in a period of pause, maybe a need for healing. It's also when they get a 4 of swords there, this can indicate that there is a need for slowing down. It's like they're throwing themselves into things because they're running away from a part of themselves that they don't want to catch up with them, as it were. That's what I'm picking up with this person. Yeah, this person takes their time with everything. And, thanks so much. I'm truly grateful. So it's like life is more peaceful when there is not love. Life is more peaceful when you are independent and free to roam. But they cannot ignore the feelings. So I feel this person is going to tell you they cannot ignore how they feel about you. It is whispering to their heart every single day of their life. And I feel that, they're in the 4 swords energy right now, but there is going to be a message from this person. They're either going to message you about a vacation or a relocation or travel or, something that is stable and true in their life. They're going to message you about it because the first person they thought about telling was you. And they were like, oh, I feel there's a lot of regret here, okay, but I feel it's worth noting that your outcome energy indicates a flurry of messages. This person may be dissecting in their head because they don't want to almost surrender to love in a way because of their need for independence. And you can be independent in a relationship with the person of your dreams. The two can coexist with the right person. But I feel this person protected themselves because we have the umbrellas there, which symbolically mean, they want to advance the connection. They want to tell you something. They want to move things forward, movement and improvement. And I feel like there will be a flurry of messages from this person. But what my guides gave me earlier that I sort of banked to the side, I have to wait for it to come back out in the energy, but it wasn't, but it is now. I was given that this person pulls away to calm themselves. because, you know, their emotions, when they let loose or be in the flow, sorry, I'm being given a song now as well. This is a lot. It's almost like when they release the floodgates of their emotions, it's like all consuming. It's like all coming out. So I'm just going to give you what my guide said first, and I'll give you the song in a moment. It never really happens like all at once, but so it's like their emotions are so overwhelming, it leaves them a little bit panicked sometimes and shattered. Like they do a lot of questioning. It's like they feel caught in a loop of love and closeness, and then suddenly like not trusting the process and a need for either reprogramming or a need for, quiet time. This person's like, shuts down. I can't do this. I can't do this. That's not the way I decided to live my life. But they crave the love here because they've got the Ace of Cups, okay? Now, the song that I'm hearing is Bette Midler, Some Say Love. It is, and I know the rest of the lyrics, but I have to tell you that that's all I got, okay? Whenever I get it so precise that there is a sudden cut-off point, it means something symbolically. So it can be this person questions love. What is love? Because I was given, some say love is a... Okay, so maybe you're going to hear that song before you hear from this person. Maybe it's symbolic or a signpost there, but I feel this person is trying to understand their feelings right now and be in the flow of their emotions. I mean, this is an outcome energy, and, you know, it is a bit of a rocky kind of water there, but the ship is still sailing. The ship is still, like, above the water. So I feel there are emotions here that can carry this relationship to the next phase. And, you know, it's number 3, which is Empress energy, and it tells me that this person needed to love themselves unconditionally because I feel like they've been running away from a part of themselves where they had to be independent and they had to be responsible. They never really got to figure out what they really wanted because they had this sense of duty. And now that they're older, they're like, I don't want responsibility. I don't want duty. And it's this unconditional love thing that I feel is somehow turbulent. So there could be something going on with the mother side or the feminine guardian side. It's about being open to emotions and unconditional love. So I'm just going to leave that there. As I was told before, it's private. But the outcome energy, we've got the 4 swords. So in the next 6 weeks, you and your person, you're going to be very single. You're not going to be committed to each other in a relationship. There are going to be messages, okay? 4 swords indicates a need to be alone to think. It is a rite of passage card that highlights you and your person are meant to be separate on purpose. This person's going to tell you that they're seeing signs reminding them of you all over the place. But also I feel this person is getting clarity on their emotions right now. And there is a need to take care of this person. I mean, not you take care of them. They have a need to take care of themselves at this moment in time. Because I feel like they're almost abandoning themselves by kind of like focusing on so many other things outside of themselves. There's a need to come back in. But we have that 8 of Wands. It was a protective measure, is what I'm seeing here, that this person sort of like ran so quickly. 8 of Wands is a very fast energy. It actually means that a person is questioning whether it's love or lust in a relationship. And a protective measure is to say, oh, it was lust. That's my way out. Intimacy can actually, you know, be physical rather than emotional. So let's just cover it like that. But you want to go deeper. You want substance. You want stability. So I feel like you kind of called them out on that in some way, held them to account. And that made them have a knee-jerk reaction there. And they needed time to really reassess. Not because they don't feel anything for you, but because they have a certain lifestyle that they told themselves that they should live. And I feel like you have distracted them in some way from the path that they felt they should be on. Okay? And that's what they see love as right now, as a distraction that they perhaps were not open to. But love is love. It's going to find you, especially on the path that you took to avoid it. So I feel with that 8 of Wands, you and this person, there's going to be some communication. Okay? 8 of Wands is an energy of passion, excitement, chemistry, but also conversation that helps advance the relationship, not something that's going to keep it stuck. So I feel like you're going to have a conversation about, what each person's been up to, but also why this person felt the need to withdraw. This person's going to give you some answers, and these answers are raw and they're honest from their perspective. But of course, you're not a light switch, my beautiful Aries. You're not here to be just turned off and on when your person sort of waltzes into your life. You are here to focus on your life too and let them know what you've been going through. How this step back, this pause, this withdrawal, because a Four of Swords is a withdrawal. How this made you feel. How you feel that it's thrown you into survival mode when it comes to them abandoning the connection or running away from their feelings. Because you're just standing there saying, I was offering love. This is me. Take me as I am. And you feel there's a rejection there. When actually the process of a twin flame dynamic is to acknowledge that the twin flame, who is the runner, is actually rejecting part of themselves. And it is projected onto the twin flame, who is wanting to stick around. The chaser, okay? Remember the magnets, both parties need to be separate in order to transform the frequencies there. I'm just going to get some final cards, maybe conversations that have been left unsaid in this connection, but we've got... Oh, my guide said go 2 more, so I will. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide? Okay. So we have, I don't want to keep hurting you. I feel that is the truth. I feel they don't want to keep hurting you. I feel this person, there's a bit of an inner battle there. It's something private, but they will tell you in time. And it says here, I can't get you out of my head. I feel that's on both sides. Both of you got a 10 of Swords. That means you're overthinking. It means that there is analysis paralysis. There is a blockage here. There's some sort of sorrow going on that has kept you and this person, I would say, like drained in power in this relationship, because it's presenting as a blockage. It's not allowing you and this person to move to the next stage of the relationship, because if this person didn't love you, the Ace of Cups would not be showing up. And we've also got, I fear that if you get too close, you will hurt me. This person has learnt that love leaves or is taken away. This person does not let people get close to them. As I said, this person is very independent because they've had people in their life not show up for them. And I feel this person's always been like, it's just me, myself, and I. And, the experiences are great, but let's not have any attachments. And it's because they fear that everything will unravel because they know what they were like when that happened to them once before in a different form, but they've had some monumental sorrow in their life. And again, this is not an excuse or a way out or a free pass. Both parties need to take accountability, have that honest, open conversation in order to, be responsible for the repercussions of how this went down. And I feel like your person, there are certain regrets that went on here, and I feel this person will try to elevate the connection. I feel this person will try and offer some sort of messages to help protect the relationship. I feel this person may even try to win you back, okay? What if you don't accept me for who I really am? So, as I said, I don't feel like this person has a problem with confidence per se, but there is an inner battle there. So either, there's been an experience in their past that they are holding really private and they feel they could be judged for it. Like, what if you don't accept that part of their life or what went down there? But I feel like you would. It says, I let my doubts and fears get the best of me. So this is obviously connected to acceptance. Okay? Because, there is an energy here of being overwhelmed with emotion and needing emotional security. I don't see this as a fear, but it could present as a doubt. Like, how is love going to be healthy for my life? How is it going to, complement my life? I just feel perhaps the doubts part, maybe, but the fears, I don't see it in their energy. Maybe there's something that they're covering up, but it didn't come out there. We've also got, no one makes me feel the way you do. And that really connects to this card, because there's literally hundreds of butterflies flying out of that cup, and their attention has been caught by one butterfly. And this pile is how they feel about you. They reflect about you all the time. They're thinking how you caught their attention. They literally cannot get you out of their head, and no one else makes them feel that way. So now they have to find their way back to themselves in order to find their way back to the union. And I feel like you will get a message from this person. And this message, I mean, there is an energy here. It's like, I keep getting this, you got caught up in their storm. They sought sanctuary when things were going wrong. So they may actually tell you about all the things that are going well for them, but there may be this one kind of clue in the message where something didn't go the way they'd hoped for. And they don't want to just come back to you for healing. They want to come back to you to love you. And I just feel like they want to be open and honest with you about what's going on in their life, to let you in. I just heard to let you in. So I'll leave that there. Just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Okay. Okay. So, random. Okay, we got a DNA strand there. Maybe there is something about this iodine or iodine thing that came out there. I'm not sure what it is, but I have to just acknowledge it that it came up. But I feel you and this person, you are intrinsically linked. There is a bond there, okay? This person acknowledges that you got in deep, like real, under their skin, on a soul level. You are connected to them in a way like no other. It's almost like they met another version of themselves, which at first was intriguing. They're like, oh my gosh, you just get me. You just get all of me. And then it's kind of like, oh, now we're talking things like settling down, or it feels like love is overwhelming and it's moving towards a more stable kind of relationship where I'm going to anchor for a while, as it were, with that anchor, but this person is always on the run. So it was counterproductive to their plans. They felt that love would just cause a distraction. So that's something coming out there. And for some of you, if you like tattoos, maybe they've got a tattoo of a DNA strand there. Or, I think it's something connected to family. There's something in their family there. I feel there's something connected to their family lineage that caused this responsibility early on in their life. And it really just shaped who they are. And they have to unlearn some of those behaviors because it was a coping mechanism that kept them safe and kept them just putting one foot in front of the other. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I'd rather none of this reading resonated with any of you out there, because of course that would mean you're with your twin and you're all having a wonderful time and you're having your happy ever after. But life is complex, people are complex, and this is a reading for those twins who are in separation. So I hope something resonated in some way. But there's going to be messages there, and I feel both of you can work hard towards protecting this union, but it's going to be a process, okay? It's not going to be fast. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Aries, and love and light.